Welcome to Kids Grab and Go Pet Rock Turtle Edition. Get your workspace ready with some newspaper and let's get started. Open up your paint pod, our little cup that I made for you, and get your paintbrush in there. I'm going to advise stirring it up a bit. I packed these a while back, so I want to make sure that the paint is nice and stirred up in case any settling has happened. And then start to paint your rock. This will become your turtle shell. Now you'll notice that I painted all the way around. I did not cover the bottom. That's because we're going to have a little bit of the Model Magic on the bottom, so you don't need to be concerned with doing that. Instead, just paint all around the top. Nice smooth paint. And if you decide that you can see the rock through the green paint, then go ahead and paint another layer on top after the first layer has dried. Now time to take the Model Magic out of the wrapper. Excuse the green fingers from painting, but this is going to become green anyways. The thing to do here is to break your brick of your Model Magic in half. One half will provide the kind of bottom part of your turtle once you've kind of kneaded it, and it will be a little bit larger than your rock, which will be the shell of your turtle. But this will provide the base. Then the other half will be the legs and the head and the tail of the turtle. I went ahead with that first half of the Model Magic and I kind of made it a little bit like an egg shape. Kind of test my theory here with my rock, and I'm going to bend it up just slightly around the edges so it'll meet up with my rock. And again, this is the bottom part of your turtle, and it'll become kind of the structure that will hold together the legs and such for your turtle. I did want to mention, I found that it was a little bit big around the edge, so you'll see that I've ripped off some of the pieces. And you know what? That's okay. This is going to provide maybe some eyes or something additional detail for my turtle. With the next half of the Model Magic, I'm looking at about a third that I'm going to kind of cut off, make it be the head. And then with the additional pieces here, I'm going to kind of maybe in my mind think cutting it into fours. I also remembered I had this left over, so I will use that for eyes and the tail. So keep in mind that you need enough for the head, legs, because we need 4 of them, and something for eyes and a tail. I flipped over my rock base, and so now I have the bottom exposed, and I'm going to go ahead and add these features. All you need to do is take it and knead it a little bit, maybe roll it up like a hot dog fashion, right? And then give it a little pinch, and that can be where you attach your legs and your head. And so I made that kind of looks like a teardrop, if you will. It's kind of the head. Looks a little rounded, right? There's my turtle head, yay! And I'll attach this to the bottom of my base. Time to make the legs. I've broken up that into 4 pieces for my 4 legs. And again, we're gonna knead that up a little bit. Roll it almost like a hot dog shape, and you can round it out, and then you'll just do a little pinch on one end and add it to the bottom of your base. There's one leg, and continue this with the 3 others. With a smaller piece, I'm gonna make the tail. I did the same kind of hot dog kind of roll, but one thing that I've noticed about turtles and their tails is they kind of go out to a point. So in between your fingers, kind of roll that out more to a point. Okay, and stick that. Oh, we're gonna smush that down so we can stick it right on the end there. Okay, just like that. So as you flip it over, it does look a little awkward because the legs are kind of poking up, but we're gonna mold those down to bend down. And you can do that just by simply bending them down like that. See? Very easy. Great thing about Model Magic is it's so pliable and moldable that it makes any of these little things very easy to fix. So there's our base of our turtle. He looks really great with our legs, head, and tail. Now for some more details, let's go ahead and roll up. That might be a little bit too big, so I might split that in half. Roll two little tiny little balls of your Model Magic and stick that right on for an eye. I hope it gets on there very good. Cute. All right, and then the second one, bloop, 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 roll it on up and stick it right down. So now we got two. Awesome, looking good. Some additional things that I'm noticing is the head might need some extra support. So if you have extra modeling magic, you can stick it underneath to kind of support it, or you can kind of pinch a little bit more closer to the edge. See how I pinched that a little bit more closer to the edge? And then that might help a little bit. It's going to take about 24 hours for this to like kind of cure and become a little bit harder. So again, you can fix those little tweaks as you go along. Just inspect your turtle and see what things that you need to add for support. I noticed on this leg that there's like a little bit of a seam there, so you can take your finger and kind of blend it in so it's not such a seam. Or better yet, you could even peel it off because it hasn't hardened yet and re-roll it, which is what I might end up doing. So what I ended up doing is taking that little leg off and I flipped it the opposite way so the seam will be on this side and you won't see it on the other side when you hold it out. All right, looks so much better already. Look at that. And you know, it's your turtle. You fix it, you adjust it the way you want. All right, fabulous. Okay, some other things that I'm noticing that might be kind of cool is you could use the edge of your paintbrush and you can indent to create his smile. Time to draw his shell, the details on his shell. This can be done pretty simply. As you see with the top corner here on this sample, you could draw the outline and then draw 1, 2, 3, 4 lines down and then connect those lines with a zigzag and a zigzag. And then you can see, you can draw offshoots from that on the outside. Then on the very outside ring, make little smaller, closer little features of, kind of looks like rectangles, if you will. And I'm gonna do that on my turtle shell next. With my black pen, I went ahead and drew a larger oval around the edge, the most outer edge of my rock. I drew an additional one on the inside of that, and one little shorter line, a second line, and even a third line, and finally the little fourth line as shown in our sample. Kind of looks like a football with its stripes. Then next I would connect each of those lines with like kind of a rooftop. It'll start to look like a zigzag effect as you connect them all, and do the same onto the other side of those 4 mini lines that you drew. Again, it looks very much like a zigzag or like a picket fence in a way. from the points, you'll then draw the little offshoots to connect it and make it look like the geometric shapes of the shell. And continue the little offshoots from those points. Any angle that might be where the geometric shape happens, you're just going to do little offshoots. Not too shabby. And again, now right on the outside, we'll do little tinier offshoots, right? So it looks like multiple little geometric shapes coming off of there. And there's the details for your turtle shell. Great work. Okay, back to painting. Model Magic can be painted. So in the hardening process, you can also be painting. So we're gonna go ahead and stir up my paint and get painting any of the white to make it green. Have fun making all the white become the green part of the turtle. I don't think it's necessary to do the underside, but you can kind of scoot your head down and look wherever you're missing, wherever you can see it as it lays flat on the table or on your desk later in the future. Keep covering anywhere where it's white. Sound fair? All right, continue this all the way around. Get all the legs, the tail, the head, all green. Now, if you decide you want to keep the eyes white, you can do that. Just paint around, and then we can use our black marker to fill in the pupil part of the eye at the end. So as I painted, instead of moving the turtle, I just pushed my newspaper around in a circle and kind of looked wherever I was missing some white and it needed to be covered up with green. I was able to find it this way. I didn't want to keep on handling the turtle, and you might find that this is a good way to do it. I also wanted to point out, you know what? Accidents happen. My paintbrush, as I was coming over on this side of the head, kind of got to the back of the eye, and I was trying to keep it all white. That's okay. All I did was just kind of give it a little brush to make it look like it was all even and it was meant to be that way. You know, accidents can always be fixed and make it look like it was meant to be. So have a little patience, and of course, lots of fun as you paint all the green on your pet rock turtle. Once the paint has dried, go ahead with your black fine tip marker and add your details. I'm thinking like maybe adding the pupil part for the eye, right? We can do that. Might have to go back and forth on there. Bloop, 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 bloop. Ooh, I love it. And again on the other side. Kind of going back and forth with it. There we go. And then maybe accenting the mouth, right? We did an indentation there, but why not add the mouth? I want my turtle to be smiling. Yours doesn't have to if you don't want to. What about some nostrils here, right? Gotta have some nostrils. Cool. And then I'm thinking maybe we want to add a little bit of detail for the claws, right? So I'm gonna do a little zoop zoop on either side. Let's see if I can get the zoop zoop going over here. A little zoop, zoop, zoop. Just, you know, just to give it a little detail, make it look like it might be the claws. And again, I'm just spinning my paper around to make it happen. I love it. This is gonna be the coolest little pet rock turtle ever. All right, friends, so leave it be for about 24 hours. It'll harden and it'll be the best pet rock turtle ever. I'm so glad you joined me for Grab and Go. Have a great rest of the day.